All right, welcome everyone. If you're a focused learner trying to completely master Cambridge AS and A-level computer science, specifically syllabus 9618, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're running a masterclass on one of the most critical and honestly most intimidating topics on the entire paper. We're talking about handling text files with one or more lines in pseudocode. Now, our goal today isn't just to do a basic syntax review. Now, our goal is to get straight inside the examiner's head. We are going to decode exactly what they're looking for, so you can systematically lock down those top marks.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the explainer. We'll start with the A-star examiner standard, move into theoretical foundations, break down the procedural framework, run a critical analysis workshop, and then finish up with the top examiner warnings. And just so you know, every single strategy here comes straight from the Cambridge Principal Examiner reports.
So, Section 1, the A-star examiner standard. Let's set the stakes right out of the gate, because when it comes to Cambridge computer science candidates, this topic is literally where the battle is won or lost. Listen to this direct quote from a senior examiner. They said, "The difference between a B and an A-star in computer science often comes down to how well you understand handling text files with one or more lines in pseudocode." I mean, think about the gravity of that statement for a second. This specific topic is a massive differentiator for those top grades. It's not just another random bullet point on your syllabus, it is the ultimate test of your logical structuring and your ability to manipulate data dynamically.
You see, there's a really clear contrast between candidate strategies here. The B-grade strategy, well, that relies on superficial breadth and generic answers. These are the candidates who memorize how to open and close a file, but the second the scenario changes, they completely panic. The A-star strategy, on the other hand, demonstrates a connected, conceptual understanding that can be applied to totally unfamiliar contexts. The Cambridge Assessment Framework heavily prioritizes analytical depth over just memorizing raw facts. They really want to see if you can take the core principles of file handling and adapt them to a completely novel problem.
So it begs the question, why do students find interpreting complex binary representations so hard when handling text files? Well, subject specialists consistently point to data extraction and interpretation as the core challenges. Because when you pull data line by line, you aren't just moving text around, right? You're often dealing with data types that need converting, evaluating, and processing on the fly. Keeping track of all that cognitive load while simultaneously writing perfect pseudocode is exactly why so many students drop marks here.
Which brings us to Section 2, theoretical foundations.
Let's look at the underlying architecture of a top-scoring exam answer. What's really interesting here is that examiners actively look for three specific elements in your responses. First, you absolutely must master precise definitions. You need to know exactly what an EOF marker is and exactly how it functions. Second, you have to understand causal relationships. Like, if a file is empty, how does that actually cause your loop to behave? And third, referencing cross-topic connections. If you can integrate file handling with arrays or string manipulation, that significantly boosts your marks. It proves to the examiner that you view the syllabus as a cohesive whole, not just isolated chapters.
Moving right along into Section 3, the procedural framework. But before we continue breaking this down, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at AceTheExams_IGCSE, to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now.
All right, this is where we shift our focus to the actual step-by-step strategy for tackling past paper questions. Let's talk about the method mark strategy. The absolute crucial point here, and honestly, this should relieve a ton of anxiety for you, is that examiners award points for your systematic process, your clear notation, and your logical reasoning, not just the final output. Even if your final algorithm has a slight syntax error, if your logical process for opening the file, initiating a loop, and extracting the line is clear, you are actively securing method marks. You are literally getting paid for your thinking process.
And here is your ultimate blueprint for doing that. This 5-step standardized sequence